Hello class, it's Mr. Kennedy again, and today we're going to be talking about evolution. So evolution can be defined as the change in allele frequencies over a long period of time in a population of a species. And an allele is two or more variations of a single gene. So an example of that could be human hair color. Alleles for that could be red hair, blonde hair, brown hair, dark brown hair, black hair, things like that. And what a gene is a unit of heredity passed from parent to offspring. So the gene would be the actual hair color itself, or even skin color. And then alleles for hair color are the actual color, whether it be red, blonde, brown, and then an alleles for skin color, which skin color is the gene, and alleles for that would be African American, Caucasian, Asian, things like that. So an important term to know when talking about evolution is natural selection, also known as survival of the fittest. Basically what this means is organisms who have traits best suited to their environment will survive and pass their genes onto their offspring. Their offspring will then pass the same genes on, and this will continue. So the traits that are best suited for a specific environment will be continued to be passed down from offspring, from parent to offspring, and then that offspring to their offspring, and it will keep going. And unless there's an environmental change, the genes are going to stay pretty consistent in a population. So another thing, good definition to know is what gene flow is, and basically gene flow is the transfer of alleles or genes from one population to another. So this is when maybe a new organism or a new species is introduced to a new population and they start breeding and new traits are being mixed up in the population. Another term to know is genetic drift, which can be defined as the variation in allele frequencies in a population caused by a random outside force. Now that's the big key here, a random outside force. This could be an earthquake, this could be a volcano, this could be a tsunami, a really bad storm. A good example I like to use is a volcano. If a volcano erupted in the middle of the desert and caused hardened black molten rock on the desert surface, a population of mice who lived in the desert who had light skin gradually migrated to live on the rocks. And then after a certain period of time, a long period of time, the population on the molten rock then became mainly of mice with dark fur, because one mouse with a mutation for dark fur was on the rock, and that's where on that rock it's better to have dark fur to hide from predators. So mice with light fur were more likely to blend in and live in the desert floor because predators wouldn't see them, and then they'd be able to pass their traits onto their offspring. And then mice with dark fur would be safe from predators on the molten rock and would be able to pass their genes on to their offspring. So here's a list of terms that you guys are going to use for your assignment. Now your assignment is to create a presentation using one of the terms listed above on Google Slides. So act as if you're going to present to someone who has never heard of anything related to evolution, or even biology if you want to go that far. This is to make sure you can explain it as thoroughly as possible and with as much detail as possible. You will also be required to use at least 2 pictures from Google Images and cite any sources you may use. So to use Google Slides, you go to Google, you go to open up Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer, whatever browser you want to use. Type in Google Drive on the search bar, and then it should come up the first link. You click on that, and then you will sign in. Go to Google Drive and then sign in with whatever account you will be using, and then create a new Google Slide. So if you see up here it says My Drive, click My Drive, go down, hit Google Slides, it will automatically appear. You can title it whatever you want, and you can click Add a Title. Let's say I want to do Natural Selection. Type in Natural Selection. And then you can add more slides by clicking the plus button, add as many as you want. And then go to Google Images. Do the same thing for Drive, just go to whatever browser you wish, type in Google Images, it should come up. Click on there, and then type in natural selection. And let's say I want to use this picture. Click on it, view image, right click, and then left click copy image. Then go back to your presentation, and you can either right click and hit paste, or you can hit Control V, which will also paste it. And then you can drag it around, make it bigger, make it smaller, whatever size you desire. And you're going to need at least 2 of these for your presentation. And that's about it. So that's your assignment. Again, you have any of these terms listed right here to choose from. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me.